in a world.
What's up, player?
My dude.
What it do?
How you be?
Man, I cannot complain.
I'm going to make you complain one of these days.
Hey, you keep trying.
I'm going to try.
You gonna try. Yeah, I cannot complain, brother. What's on the docket today?
Today, let's talk about failure. How would you deal with failure?
That's a scary topic for people.
Ooh, so people don't want to admit that they're open to the idea. They just reject failure.
Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to fail because they don't want that. They only want the positive spotlight on them.
That's right.
And go ahead.
It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So you better be ready for it when it happens.
You're failing every day.
Yeah.
In some form of fashion.
Yeah, you late to a meeting, you failed. Somewhere along the line, you failed.
Right. You didn't pull all the laundry out. Now you're missing that sock, and that sock is now mixed in with another group.
It's a failure.
It's a failure.
Your shoe came untied. You failed along the way somewhere.
Yeah. It's a part of living, people. It's not, it's not every failure is not like dropping the last pass to win the Super Bowl.
No,
it's not. And I think people look at the word like that. One, I think deep in our minds, we think that we're, perfectionists.
Yeah.
And to me, I see people who are perfectionists in one part of their life, but then not in the other, right? You're not a perfectionist with your family, but you're a perfectionist on the job.
Totally.
And so then it's like, and I think that fear of failure mixed with professionalism that is how you create some tyrants that you work with too, because they're going to bull and China shop everybody so nobody can point a finger at them.
Yeah. You should give that example that you just sent the other day about Kobe. Walk us through that. That was a perfect example of failure.
Yeah. And so, that was so good. So Kobe missed like 3 shots.
He was first year, rookie season, straight out of high school.
Yeah. He's a boss. Everybody sees him dunking. He misses 3 shots and he doesn't win the game, and he puts his hands over his head. And like always, the media tries to pick up on everything. It's like, oh, we caught you, and, you must feel really bad.
Right.
About missing those shots. It looked like you were, kind of slumming over there about missing those shots. Talk to us about it. And they think they're going to get him down. He's like, what's feelings got to do with it?
Right.
He's like, I'm processing why I missed those shots and why I missed those shots. And now what can I do? Now I'm figuring out what can I do to make them?
Yeah. And I know what I did wrong, and I can fix it.
So if that shoe comes untied, double knot it.
Exactly. Snug the knot up.
Yeah. Get different. There's some shoestrings that, they're not even made to be tied. They're always coming to loose. You know what I'm talking about? I hate whenever I get a pair of shoes and it's like the little stringy, it's like wax or something. They will not stay tied.
Don't throw away the shoes. Get new laces.
Get new laces. So Kobe summed it up perfectly. It's like, you missed something. Now start looking back as to why that happened and move forward. And a common theme that we're seeing lately is people are living in the past.
Yes.
Hey, bro, what I just said 2 seconds ago is over.
Yeah.
Now I can try and go, have you delete it. But why do that?
Why?
Because I want to listen to it and figure out how to handle it better. Or I could have used this word, or I could have said that.
Totally.
So yeah. Be careful about being a perfectionist. Because you're setting unrealistic standards for yourself, and then you're like way too high, and then something, you get there. You and I do this all the time when you're presenting. For those of us out here who present to people or train people, there is nothing like getting there, setting that laptop up, and the shit ain't working. You want to talk about fear
Yep.
panic, mania, all mixed into one. And so once that happens, what you start to do is you put fail safes in. Oh, well, I'm gonna
poor
take
planning prevents.
Proper preparation prevents piss poor performance.
There you go.
Right. So now you're like, okay, that happened to me once. What did Bush say? Fool me once.
Fool me twice. Fool
me
shame on me.
twice.
Fool me. Fool me 3 times. I don't know.
I don't know. Now watch me hit this drive. But yeah, what happens in the past should create a better future if you use it.
Learn
correctly.
from it, reflect on it, and move on. And
don't be bougie all up at the top like that, because I used to tell my people this in sales. I used to say, hey, don't get too high, don't get too low. Right?
That's right.
But what I used to say is, hey, all right, we had a good quarter. Don't buy a boat and don't slit your wrist either. So stay in between of buying a boat and offing yourself, and then we'll be good. And that's really life.
Yeah.
Don't get too high.
The problem with the top is there's nowhere else to go but down.
and it's a long drop.
Exactly.
So we talked about this before in a previous episode, confident versus cockiness. But
yes,
I think that's where true humility comes in. It's just like, I'm not going to think I'm better than everybody, because that shit will come back to bite you.
Exactly.
And bite you hard. And so I think people who are perfectionists are there, their fear of failure. And then the next piece is people don't want to be judged.
No,
right.
They do
so
not.
That's why they're afraid of failure, because it's like, oh, you didn't get that right. Guess what? Your CEO is messing something up.
Yep. Do you think?
Go ahead.
Do you think that the people that are the most fear of failure, do you think that there's any correlation to being able to receive feedback?
Yeah, in a major way. In a major way.
Yeah, I agreed.
If you can receive feedback, then you'll be a lot better with failure, because you're looking for it.
You're having a million little failures and you're looking to understand from them.
You're like, what? But not only that, but you're doing it after action review.
Exactly.
Okay, great game. We won, but we could have lost.
Mm-hmm. And what can we do better?
What can we do better? We threw a couple interceptions. We had a fumble. What can we do better? Right. So, and you can't just take the win and walk away like, well, we got a W. You got to look at that stuff, because other people are looking at it. Your competitors, right? If you're fumbling a launch of a product, or you're not discussing a recall the right way, okay? Or, because guess what? Recalls happen to us all.
Everybody.
So watch what you say when it's the other team.
That's right.
Watch what you say, and your customers look at you. They want to see how you gonna play it.
Yeah. So let's break that down. There's a difference between a failure and a recall. A failure is, hey, I screwed up. I'm not going to do that again. A recall is a little different. A recall is, I screwed up, and now I got to go back and I got to change this before I can move forward. And so that's important, because you should look at those failures as recalls. Hey, I'm not going to tie my shoe that way next time. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to fix all my other shoelaces. And this isn't happening again.
I bet Boeing wish they could hear that.
I bet they did. I bet they wish they hadn't sold off that other company and kept that in house.
Oh my God. Right. You're seeing it. And shout out to all my Boeing peeps. I got family that work for Boeing, but it's a shit show.
Yep.
Because of that. Right. Because of people being perfectionists, just being at the top of the game and riding way too high, and then not wanting to be judged, not wanting to hear that feedback. Now you jammed up.
Yeah. Here's another example. You're a cocky son of a bitch. You're out there and you're just, I cannot fail. I am the bee's knees. I'm walking to everything. I'll always be closing. I don't even know what not closing means. And you're an inflated balloon and something pops you and you fall to the bottom. Your entire psyche is destroyed because you are not, you go from the top apex predator to the bottom in a deep, dark hole, and you've got nothing to climb out of that hole with because you don't know how.
You don't know how. So Mike Tyson used to say, everybody's, it was something like this. Everybody's tough or whatever till they get punched in the face.
Everybody's a tough guy till they get punched in the face.
Right. And that's like my military people. Everybody's a hardcore soldier of fortune till them real bullets start flying.
I tell you what, a lot of people talk a lot of smack and then SHIF and oh boy, people change.
People change. So embrace it. I guess that's my initial deal. It's like embrace the failures, because if you like, I don't get it, boxers get punched hard. Boxers get knocked on their butts.
That's right.
Somebody's going to catch. Are you like, oh my God, my kids saw me on my butt, or are you going to get back up?
That's right.
So, and I think that goes, and it's really a consistent theme here. Past experiences, right? A negative experience, or you've seen somebody else, everybody's situation isn't the same.
Yep.
So you don't know how many failures people have had behind closed doors before you see one in public.
Yeah.
Okay. And so just because somebody else had to get off the bus, that doesn't mean that because you have a misstep, you got to get off the bus.
No. I'd venture to say that it is twice or more important about what you do with the failure than if the failure ever happened or not. It's when your kids are in the crowd and you get punched in the face and you fall on your butt. Is it more important that you fell on your butt, or is it more important that you step back up and they get to see what you do with that?
Get back up.
Exactly.
Get back up, because if you're around real people, you're gonna see people above you fail in all types of different ways.
Yep.
Oh my God, I missed that meeting. Oh my God, I'm late. I didn't see it. We're human beings.
Yep.
We're human beings. I try and pride myself on not messing up, but I can't say that I won't. Yep. And if I do, I'm going to learn from it.
I'm a lot more. You go.
No, go ahead.
I'm a lot more opportunistic to see, as people that I work with or work beneath me, I would much rather see how they handle adversity than how they handle a best case scenario. I'm like, this is, if you're, everything's gifted to you and you do really well with that, are you really, I don't know how you're going to handle this thing when things go sideways. And that's, I think, one of my best differentiators is I live in the sideways. I'm able to grab from thin air and pull stuff out of here because I'm thinking quick and thinking fast, because I've been in that scenario a bunch of times and I'm ready for it. And that is what separates the good from the bad. Yeah.
You just made me think about it. I mean, who's one of the best NFL coaches of all time?
Belichick.
What's he doing now?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What's he doing now?
Yeah.
So you're going to be high. He's one of the best to ever do it. And, he's on the Pat McAfee show.
He got knocked on his butt.
But he knows what he has.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so,
other than a 25-year-old girlfriend
coming out bare chested on the Ring camera. But you can't, listen, what you do as a profession, you can't connect that to your self-worth and self-esteem.
You cannot. You
can't, because that's what you do. Right. That's your work. That's how you earn. That's not who you are.
No.
It's what I go and do.
They can overlap, but they are not the same.
It's not. So sometimes like I said, there's going to be things that impact you that are outside of your control.
Yep.
And if you didn't hit a full 100% this year because of things outside of your control, then you got to be able to disconnect the two.
That's right.
Are you being a good person? Those are the things that you really can connect to self-esteem. Are you being a good parent, a good son, a good brother, a good neighbor? Just an all around good human.
Yep.
But what I do on a daily basis, and if I'm doing a presentation and I forget to put the volume on, am I a horrible person?
No,
you can't connect the two. So a lot of people put their self-worth tied to their achievements. Trust me, I love achievements.
Yes.
I got trophies and plaques and stuff all around me. But that doesn't make me. When I get them, I'm excited. Right. And then when you don't have them for a while, you look to get them.
Exactly.
But
how do you keep those? You look for the failures in those successes, and you have the accountability and self-awareness to go, I did this, but I can do it better.
I can do it better. And the things that I did, they happened.
Yes.
Can't change them.
No.
Just
learn from it.
It's like tripping and falling. That's happened to you. You fell, you know what I'm saying? You fell and you've gotten back up. And then sometimes you've fallen and then there's been broken bones because of it.
Maybe a few chipped teeth.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Stitches. So then you learn like, okay, now I'm going to walk with walking sticks. Now I'm going to put this type of boot on.
As I do.
Yeah, so the whole thing is sometimes you have to look at these failures as gifts for the future.
That's right.
Because I always ask listen, sometimes I travel and instead of just being like, oh, woe is me, I'm like, what is this teaching me? Like, what am I learning from this?
Yeah.
Most recently, I was traveling and I got home after traveling for a long day. We landed. It was raining. And, for safety purposes, we landed and then there's lightning, right? So you got to protect the ground crew. So the ground crew goes in. And the way they do it here in Florida is, if you see lightning, then they wait 10 minutes. Yep. If they don't see lightning in 10 minutes, then they can open it up. But every time the tower sees lightning, that ground crew has to go in. Bro, I landed after traveling all day and sat on the plane for 2 hours because it's kept lightning.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched people all around me and people are like, son of a, come on, bring me a scotch. I'm going to call Delta. Yeah.
It's Delta's fault.
I'm like, that's not Delta's fault.
Right. And
instead of taking that, I was like, what is the universe teaching me here?
That's right.
What am I learning? Patience is no good until you got to use patience.
I was just going to say that.
and I'm just like, okay, this is a masterclass in patience.
Exactly.
Because I'm like, well, if that was my daughter or my sister or my son out there just working on the ground crew, I wouldn't want them. I would want them to wait 20 minutes.
Exactly.
So I had to put myself in the shoes of the people and that created empathy. And then I was like, okay, all right, I get it. Right. But if you are afraid to, as we say, look in the mirror and think about, the consequences and why things are happening, then you'll be like, oh man, that sucked. Okay, that's teaching me a lesson.
We got no room for narcissists here.
Yeah. So is it the fact that people who don't want to fail don't want to learn?
Yes.
Well, talk to me.
I mean, that's the thing is it's like you are self-absorbed. You don't see the impact of your actions. So you're lacking in accountability. And you know, you're sitting there, you're so, your plane example is really good. You're sitting on a plane. It's like, man, I got to get off this plane. Wait, is your impatientness, is your self scenario worth more than the lives of other people? You always have to go, what is the other side? You have to look at every situation and you have to look at it from the outside in. Everybody's really good at looking at it from the inside out. This is going to piss me off. This is going to make me late. Well, what is the outside of that? There's a reason, you know, oh, this escalator, that escalator's broken. Damn it. What a bunch of bullshit. Well, that escalator probably sucked somebody's foot in and now they're trying to keep from hurting other people. Or hopefully preemptively.
Right. So, yeah. Failure is a part of life. And, you know, I think people who are afraid of the unknown, because when you have failure, there's like this little inkling of uncertainty about the future.
That's right.
And so then you got to be careful, too, because if you're afraid to fail, then you're not going to take risks.
No. And you got to be taking risks.
You're not going to do anything out of the norm because, oh, no, I'm not going to look all world. Look at Tiger Woods, man. Tiger Woods changed his shot. He changed his swing. Yeah. And it was like, and people were like, well, why did he do it? And it was like, he went through some rocky times, but then eventually he came back. Like he changed his swing in the middle of his career. And it wasn't working at first, but he kept to it.
Well, and then he did it again when his almost both his legs fell off, and now he's out there playing again.
He's playing again, so it's just like resiliency.
Exactly, that's a big word.
Yeah, you have to take the vain out of your work and what you do, and not only that, it's like it's okay to parent differently.
Oh yes.
You know, like people come up, oh, I'm soft parenting or this. Some people you've been too soft. Now you gotta, put the channel locks on your kid.
Yeah.
Right.
Or as I see it too many times, you've got these people who are like, they hated how they were raised. And they're like, I'm not gonna be that parent.
But now you're gonna create a little, a little psychopath.
Yes.
You can't do that. So you have to be open to the lessons. And I would say change the word from failures to lessons.
Exactly.
Right. What's the lesson in it?
What are the lessons in everything?
And don't be so vain. You're a human being. People make mistakes. CEOs step down every day. Oh, yeah, you were here. I just was watching they paid the guy who was running Nike millions of dollars.
They had to back a semi-truck of cash up to that guy.
And they lost $40 billion while he was at the head.
A lot of people might call that
what'd you say? Say that
a
again?
lot of people might call that a failure. He might call that retirement.
he calls that retirement. He ain't got to worry about nothing.
Forever.
And, I mean, that doesn't even include the stock.
No.
He was paid millions I think they paid him $100 million.
That's right.
In his check. Right? But look how much money they lost under him.
Yeah.
So
it's not about that. It's about how they pivot now.
How they pivot. How do you
rally from this?
What did you learn from it?
Yeah, exactly.
So, failing is going to happen. Change them into opportunities, change them into lessons, and you'll do yourself a favor if you expect them.
That's right.
Expect them. You're going to do yourself a favor, like plan to run a tight ship, right? But I mean, even failure could just be somebody twisting an ankle. It's not that they did anything wrong. Oh, my own guy fell on my ankle. Now I'm out. Oh, well, this was our starting line. So now we got to bring in another guy.
That's right.
He's not as strong as you were. He's not all of these things, but you got to pivot.
They're just gaps. Are you going to treat that as a blind spot, or are you going to treat that as an area of focus?
same deal. We were talking about Belichick, but you know, Drew Bledsoe. I always use this, right? They thought they were done. He was the main guy. Stayed in bounds 3 yards too long, got laid out. Oh, we got to bring in Tommy from Michigan. Who would have thunk that a failure would turn into a dynasty? A dynasty. So that's how you have to look at it. That happened for a reason. That was in the universe. That was supposed to happen. That guy was supposed to get laid out, and then he got his shot.
Yep.
And so sometimes it's not always the fact that your failure is going to bring in somebody else, but it should enlighten you to now like, oh, I can't do that again.
That's right.
Fail forward, brother.
Fail forward. If you're going to get anything tattooed on your arm, it's that one.
Fail forward, players.
I love that, bro.
Good discussion, man.
Is it time?
I think it is.
It's time for this or that.
This or that.
All right. Let's have some fun with this one. There's a,
Okay.
The Grim Reaper's on vacation.
Do I need to pull my will out for this one?
You might need to. No. All right. Let me spin this a couple of hypothetical ways. You are in the optional witness relocation time machine, or you believe in
I believe in everything,
reincarnation or whatever.
Okay.
You're going to live in another time. You get the opportunity to start over again for the first time, for the fifth time, who knows, in a different time period. You could live in any time period. What time period are you picking? But you don't remember it. So you can't do that. I'll go back and buy out that. No. But you get to start over again, knowing what you know now in any time period. Which time period are you picking?
Man, that's an awesome question, because I think I graduated in 91 from high school. Okay. And I think that era, 4 or 5 years ahead of me, was the absolute golden era. Like that's the Ferris Bueller era. Yes. And like, so when I got to high school in 88. The people who were seniors, I mean, they were like adults.
That's right.
You know, it was like the parents would leave. I was like, who's letting you at home like this? It was an era. And Malcolm Gladwell has a book about that, The Outliers. And it just talks about when you're born, how, I mean, you look at Apple, right? You look at Steve Jobs and you look at Bill Gates. They came at a certain era. They lived in a certain place. We wouldn't have it if they didn't come up where they were at. Right. Like it was the era that they were in. It was where they were at. It was all the tech people around them. But if I could go and say like where I graduated in 87, bro, I would be, because I came up under them. They were in the house music. They were just, I mean, that was the coolest era to me. And I seen some of the coolest people. My cousin being one of them, my older cousin Damon. It was just like they knew everything. And at that time, that mid to late 80s, if you were in high school, the parents treated you like an adult. Yep. So I wouldn't go too far. You know, I wouldn't go too far back because it gets a little scary for the brothers if I go too far back.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? So I'll just push it. Maybe 4 years early, or, you know, mid 80s, maybe graduating in 87, maybe graduating in 88. And I see, and some of these folks are off doing some of the best things. I think that was the golden era.
I like that a lot. I would steal that, but now I got to keep it original. So
no, you can
I'm going to go
it.
Because I love it. But I'm thinking I want a shot at homesteading. I want to go back when you could go west and get you 100 acres, 500 acres, you know, and and make something of it.
Make sure you take some ivermectin with you on that trip. You'll catch something serious. Boss
they died of dysentery.
Cough. Yeah,
boss got a bad cough.
You know what I'm saying? That sore on his foot won't heal. We're gonna put some maggots on it. Like, careful.
Oregon Trail, you died of dysentery. Start over.
You know what I'm saying? You're dead, Butters.
But yeah, building my own thing, a lot of hard work, again, I think that would be fun. I think knowing the skills that I have today, and I wish I was outside more. I wish I did more of that stuff. So it'd be fun. It would be a fun trip.
So, okay. Just to keep this going real quick. So, okay. You go back to that Oregon Trail days. You go back. Yep. What's the one thing that secretly you could take with you that wasn't for back then? What would you take?
A fucking chainsaw.
You would be the man. And gas, right?
And all the gas I can hold.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or maybe, a solar powered chainsaw.
I like that. Electric solar powered chainsaw. There you go.
That's what you need. They're going to be like, this man's he's a witch.
This wizard.
Like, how'd you get that cabin up so soon?
Don't you wish you knew?
Oh, man, that's awesome. As always, my brother, I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, bro.
Peace.
Peace.